In the heart of an ancient jungle where shadows danced like forgotten secrets and the roar of beasts echoed through the veil of mystery, a tale unfolds that defies the chains of fate. Imagine a mighty lion, king of all he surveys, ensnared not by claws or fangs, but by the tiniest whisper of kindness from a creature deemed insignificant. What if that single act sparked a chain of betrayals, alliances, and revelations that could topple empires hidden in the underbrush? Dive into this riveting reimagining of The Lion and the Mouse, packed with unexpected twists that will leave you breathless. Subscribe now to unlock more epic stories that blend timeless fables with heart-pounding suspense. Once upon a time in the vast, untamed wilderness of the African savanna, where the golden sun painted the grasslands in hues of amber and the wind carried whispers of ancient legends, there lived a magnificent lion named Leo, whose mane flowed like a river of fire and whose roar could shake the very foundations of the earth, commanding respect from every creature that dared to cross his path, from the towering elephants to the swift gazelles that fled at the mere sight of his shadow. For Leo was not just any lion but the undisputed king of the pride, born under a blood moon that foretold his destiny of power and dominance. Yet deep within his fierce heart lurked a loneliness that no conquest could quell, a void born from years of ruling with an iron paw, where fear masqueraded as loyalty and solitude was his only true companion. One sweltering afternoon, as Leo lounged beneath the sprawling branches of an acacia tree, his belly full from a recent hunt that had claimed an unfortunate zebra, he felt a tiny tickle on his massive paw, a sensation so minuscule it barely registered amidst the symphony of buzzing insects and distant hyena cackles. But upon closer inspection, he discovered a small mouse named Mira, her fur as gray as storm clouds and her eyes wide with terror, scurrying desperately to escape the accidental trap of his claws that had pinned her tail without intent. For Mira was no ordinary mouse but a clever scavenger from a hidden burrow colony, orphaned young and raised by the wits of survival, dodging predators and foraging in the dead of night, her life a constant dance with death. In that moment, Leo's amber eyes locked onto Mira's trembling form, and with a mighty laugh that rumbled like thunder, he declared, "What amusement you provide, little one. Why should I waste my strength on such a puny morsel when the jungle offers feasts fit for kings?" And with a flick of his paw, he released her, watching as she scampered away into the underbrush, her heart pounding with gratitude and disbelief, vowing in her tiny voice to repay the debt someday. Though Leo dismissed the notion with a scoff, for how could a mouse aid a lion in his world of raw power and endless battles? Little did either know that this fleeting encounter was the spark of a saga woven with threads of fate, betrayal, and redemption, as the savannah held secrets darker than the night sky, where rival prides plotted in the shadows and ancient curses lingered in forgotten ruins. Days turned to weeks, and Leo's reign faced its first true test when a cunning hyena clan, led by the scarred matriarch Zara, who harbored a grudge from a past defeat where Leo had slain her mate in a territorial clash, began encroaching on his lands, stealing kills and ambushing lone pride members under the cover of dusk, their laughter a mocking chorus that grated on Leo's pride like thorns in his flesh. Undeterred, Leo rallied his lionesses for a counterattack, charging into the hyena's lair with ferocious might, claws slashing and teeth baring in a whirlwind of fury. But in the chaos, a hidden trap sprung, a net woven from enchanted vines, cursed by a long-forgotten shaman who had been wronged by Leo's ancestors, binding the lion in an unbreakable hold that drained his strength with every struggle. The hyenas circling with gleeful snarls, their eyes gleaming with vengeance as Zara taunted, "The mighty king falls at last, ensnared like the prey he once hunted, your roar will echo no more." As despair crept into Leo's heart for the first time, memories of his solitary rule flashing before him, a faint rustling emerged from the grass, and there was Mira, the mouse he had spared, her keen senses having led her to the scene after overhearing the hyenas' boasts in the wind-swept plains, her tiny teeth gnawing at the cursed vines with unyielding determination, each bite a testament to her promise, until finally, with a snap that echoed like freedom's call, the net gave way, allowing Leo to surge forth in a blaze of renewed fury, scattering the hyenas and sending Zara fleeing into the night with a yelp of defeat. Panting and grateful, Leo turned to Mira, his voice softened by humility, "Little friend, you have saved the king, your debt is more than repaid, and from this day, you shall be under my protection, an ally in this unforgiving world." And thus began an unlikely friendship that blossomed amidst the savannah's trials, with Mira scouting hidden dangers from her vantage in the grass while Leo provided shelter in his den, their bond a beacon of hope that inspired whispers among the animals, tales of the lion and the mouse spreading like wildfire through the watering holes and treetops. But twists of fate are never straightforward, for deep in the jungle's heart lay the ruins of Eldoria, an ancient temple guarded by spectral guardians, where legend spoke of a golden amulet that granted eternal strength to its bearer, a relic sought by many but claimed by none. And when a treacherous jackal named Jax, a sly informant who traded secrets for scraps, overheard Mira mentioning the ruins during a conversation with Leo about expanding their alliance. He plotted to seize the amulet for himself, seeing it as a way to overthrow Leo and rule the savanna with manipulative cunning. Jax, with his silver tongue and shadowy alliances, convinced a flock of opportunistic vultures to aid him, promising them feasts from the chaos that would ensue, and together they ambushed Mira one moonlit night as she foraged for seeds, binding her in spider silk and demanding she reveal the path to the ruins, which she had discovered in her burrow explorations years ago. But Mira, loyal to her core, refused, enduring their threats until a twist unfolded. Jax, in his arrogance, didn't notice the silk weakening from her subtle gnawing, allowing her to escape and race back to Leo, who upon hearing the tale, roared with protective rage, vowing to confront Jax and claim the amulet to safeguard their friendship forever. Together, the lion and the mouse ventured into the treacherous ruins, navigating crumbling stone passages laced with traps of falling boulders and illusory walls that shifted like mirages, Leo's strength smashing through barriers while Myra's agility slipped through cracks to disable mechanisms, their synergy a perfect balance of might and wit. But as they reached the chamber housing the golden amulet, perched on a pedestal bathed in ethereal light, a shocking revelation struck. The amulet was guarded by a phantom lion, a spectral echo of Leo's own father, who had perished seeking the relic long ago, cursed to protect it eternally, his ghostly form lunging with claws of mist that phased through flesh yet sapped the soul. In the ensuing battle, Leo clashed with the phantom, his roars mingling with echoes of paternal regret, while Mira darted to the pedestal, her tiny paws activating a hidden rune that revealed the amulet's true nature, not a source of power, but a mirror of the heart, amplifying one's inner virtues or vices. And in a twist of irony, when Leo touched it, driven by his growing humility from Myra's influence, it shattered the curse, freeing his father's spirit to ascend in peace, granting Leo not eternal strength but wisdom to rule justly. Yet the saga twisted further when Jax, having followed them stealthily with his vulture spies, swooped in to snatch the amulet's fragments, believing they held residual power, only for the relic's magic to backfire on his greedy soul, transforming him into a harmless beetle that scurried away in humiliation, his schemes crumbling like the ruins themselves. Triumphant, Leo and Mira returned to the Pride, their bond unbreakable, inspiring a new era where size mattered not in alliances, and creatures great and small united against common foes. But the savanna's whispers grew darker as a drought descended, parching the lands and driving herds away, forcing Leo's pride to migrate toward uncharted territories ruled by a rival lion king named Thorn, a brutal tyrant with a scar-riddled hide and an army of enforced followers, who viewed intruders as threats to be crushed. In this migration, Mira proved invaluable once more, scouting hidden oases and warning of ambushes, but a devastating twist came when Thorn's scouts captured Mira, using her as bait to lure Leo into a canyon trap lined with sharpened stakes and rolling boulders, Thorn's voice booming with malice, "Surrender your pride, or watch your little pet perish." Leo, torn between loyalty and the safety of his kin, charged in regardless, his mane bristling with fury, but Mira, ever resourceful, gnawed through her bindings just in time, triggering a chain reaction that dislodged a boulder onto Thorn's forces, creating chaos that allowed Leo to engage the rival king in an epic duel atop a precarious ledge, claws raking and teeth clashing under the relentless sun, until with a mighty swipe, Leo sent Thorn tumbling into the abyss. His tyranny ended in a final roar of defeat, yet victory came at a cost, for in the fray, Leo sustained a grievous wound from a poisoned thorn hidden in the canyon, a venom that slowed his steps and clouded his vision, spreading like fire through his veins. And as the Pride settled in their new lands, Mira refused to abandon him, venturing into forbidden groves to seek a rare antidote flower guarded by serpents, her courage shining brighter than any star, facing coils and fangs with nimble dodges and clever distractions, finally securing the bloom and racing back to administer its healing nectar, saving Leo once more in a twist that cemented their legend. As seasons cycled, their story evolved, with Mira rising as an advisor in the Pride, her insights preventing wars and fostering peace among species, while Leo learned that true kingship lay in compassion, not conquest. Their friendship a tapestry of twists, from mercy to rescue, betrayal to redemption, danger to triumph, that wove through the savanna's soul, teaching all that even the mightiest can fall and the smallest can rise, in a world where every act ripples like stones in a pond, creating waves of change that endure beyond the horizon. And so, in the quiet moments under starlit skies, Leo and Mira would recount their adventures, their voices blending in harmony, a lion's rumble and a mouse's squeak, forever bound by the threads of destiny that began with a simple act of kindness, proving that in the grand theater of life, heroes come in all sizes, and twists of fate can turn the ordinary into the extraordinary, echoing eternally through the winds of time. Word count. 2003.